In a small village, there lived a farmer named Peter and his wife Joy. Peter was a kind man who worked very hard on his little farm. Every morning, he woke up before the sun rose. He went to the farm, tilled the soil, planted seeds, and watered the crops. Peter never complained. Even though the farm was small, he believed that with patience and hard work, they would always have food to eat. But his wife Joy was not like him. Joy was never satisfied with what they had. She looked at their small hut and frowned. She looked at the old clothes they wore and shook her head. She looked at the little harvest from the farm and complained. "Peter," she said one evening as they sat outside their hut, "look at us. We live like poor people while others live in big houses. Why can't we be rich like them?" Peter sighed. He loved his wife dearly, but her words always made his heart heavy. "Joy, we have enough to eat. We have clothes to wear. We have each other. Is that not enough?" Joy shook her head quickly. "No, it is not enough. I want more. I want fine clothes. I want gold. I want servants. I don't want to live like this forever." Peter looked at her sadly. He tried to remind her of the blessings they already had. "Joy, riches do not always bring happiness. What matters is peace of mind and love." But Joy did not listen. Her heart was filled with greed. Every day she looked at other families in the village who seemed richer than them. She grew jealous. She wanted to have more than everyone else. One day, while Joy went to fetch water at the river, she overheard some women talking. They spoke about a spirit that lived deep in the river. The women said this spirit could give people wealth, food, and even gold if they asked for it. Joy's eyes grew wide with excitement. She returned home quickly and told Peter about what she had heard. "Peter," she shouted as she entered their hut, "I know how we can become rich. There is a spirit in the river that gives wealth. You must go and ask the spirit to bless us." Peter shook his head in fear. "Joy, we must not play with spirits. They do not give without taking something in return. Let us be content with what we have." But Joy refused to listen. She folded her arms and frowned. "If you love me, you will do this. I cannot continue to live like a poor woman. Go to the river and bring us riches." Peter felt torn. He wanted to make his wife happy, but deep inside he knew it was dangerous. That night he could not sleep. He thought of Joy's angry face and her bitter words. Finally he made a decision. The next morning Peter rose early. With slow steps he walked toward the river. The air was still and the water was calm. He knelt by the riverbank and whispered, "O Spirit of the river, if you are truly there, hear me. My wife Joy is not happy with what we have. Please, bless us with more so that she will find peace." The water began to move gently, and a soft light rose from its depth. A voice, calm yet powerful, spoke. "Peter, you ask not for yourself but for your wife. Take this gift. Use it wisely." Before Peter could speak, a small golden fish leapt from the water and landed at his feet. The fish shimmered brightly, then turned into a basket filled with yams, maize, and coins of silver. Peter's eyes widened in wonder. He picked up the basket and carried it home. When Joy saw the basket of food and silver, she clapped her hands and laughed loudly. "Peter, this is wonderful. Now we are rich. Now we can live like others." Peter smiled weakly, but in his heart, he feared what might come next. He prayed that Joy would be content with this blessing. But little did he know, Joy's hunger for more had only just begun. The basket from the river spirit brought great joy to Peter and his wife. For the first time, their hut was filled with plenty of food. They had more yams than they could eat, more maize than they could store, and silver coins that could buy clothes and other things from the market. Peter was thankful. Every evening he looked at the basket and said, "Thank you, Spirit of the river. This is enough for us." But Joy was different. She smiled when she first saw the silver coins, but after a few days she wanted more. She sat outside and looked at the chief's big house in the center of the village. She looked at the traders who wore fine clothes and gold earrings. Her heart burned with envy. One morning she said to Peter, "Husband, this basket is good, but it is too small. Why should we live in a tiny hut when others live in houses with many rooms? Go back to the river. Ask the spirit for a bigger house." Peter shook his head slowly. "Joy, the spirit has given us enough. We must not be greedy. What if the spirit becomes angry?" Joy frowned and stamped her foot on the ground. "Peter, you are a coward. If you do not go, I will never be happy. Do you want to see me sad all my life?" Peter's heart grew heavy. He loved Joy too much, and he could not bear to see her unhappy. Against his own fear, he went back to the river. He knelt by the bank and called, "O spirit of the river, my wife is not satisfied. She asks for a bigger house. Please grant her wish." The water stirred, and once again, the spirit's soft voice rose from the depths. "Peter, your wife's heart is full of desire. This will not end well. But since you ask, it shall be done." When Peter returned home, he found that their small hut had turned into a fine house made of red bricks, with strong wooden doors and wide windows. Joy screamed with joy. "Ah, this is wonderful. Now people will respect us. Now I will no longer be ashamed." At first she was happy, but only for a short while. Soon she looked at the chief's compound again. The chief had servants. He had cattle, goats, and chickens. He had cloths from faraway lands. Joy's heart grew restless again. She turned to Peter and said, "Husband, the house is good, but what use is a house without servants? What use is a house without fine clothes and cattle? Go back to the river. Ask the spirit to give us all these things." Peter dropped his head in sorrow. "Joy, must you always want more? We have food, we have silver, we have a fine house. Why can't you be satisfied?" But Joy only laughed. "Satisfied? Never. There is more to have, and I want it all. If you truly love me, go back to the river." Peter's heart was full of fear. He remembered the spirit's warning. Still he obeyed his wife. He walked slowly back to the river. Again he knelt at the water's edge and called, "O spirit of the river, forgive me. My wife is still not satisfied. She asks for servants, cattle, goats, chickens, and fine clothes. Please grant her wish." The water shook harder this time. The spirit's voice sounded stern. "Peter, your wife's greed grows like a fire. If it is not stopped, it will burn everything. Still, because of your love, I will grant this one too. But beware." When Peter returned, he could not believe his eyes. Their new house now had a wide compound. Servants were sweeping the yard and cooking food. Cattle, goats, and chickens filled the farmyard. Inside the house, Joy was dressing in fine clothes of silk and gold jewelry that shone in the sun. Joy laughed loudly. "Yes, now I am a true lady. Now people will bow before me. Peter, you see how powerful you are. The spirit listens to you. With this power, we can become greater than everyone in the land." Peter sat quietly in a corner. Though the house was full of riches, his heart was empty. He felt that trouble was coming. Joy, however, was blind with pride. She no longer spoke kindly to the villagers. She looked down on her neighbors, and even on her husband. "Peter," she said one evening, "tomorrow you will go back to the river again. I want more, much more." Peter trembled as he heard her words. He knew that the spirit had already warned him. He feared that one day, Joy's endless demands would bring ruin to them both. But Joy did not care. Her eyes were fixed only on riches, and her heart was filled with greed. The new life of Joy and Peter was full of riches. Their compound was large, their servants worked from morning to night, and their animals filled the farmyard. Villagers looked at them with surprise, whispering, "How did Peter and Joy become so rich so quickly?" Peter did not enjoy the whispers. He felt uneasy every time he remembered the words of the river spirit. But Joy was different. She walked proudly through the village wearing gold earrings and silk cloths. She no longer greeted people politely. Instead, she lifted her chin high and said, "Do you see me now? I am no longer the poor woman you knew. I am greater than all of you. At night, Peter begged her to stop. Joy, we have enough. Please let us not ask the spirit for more. Each time I go, the water shakes stronger, and the spirit grows angry. If we push too far, we will lose everything. But Joy only laughed. Lose everything? Foolish man, do you not see how powerful we are? The spirit listens to your voice. With one word you can give me the world. I will not stop until I am the richest woman in the land. Peter shook his head sadly. He saw that his wife's heart had become harder than stone. The next morning, Joy stood in the center of their wide compound and shouted, Peter, today you will go back to the river again. Tell the spirit I want to become the queen of this land. I am tired of being just a rich woman. I want power over everyone. I want even the chief to bow before me. Peter's eyes widened in horror. Joy, are you mad? Do you not understand? Asking for food and a house was one thing, but asking to be queen is too much. The spirit will not allow it. Joy's face grew dark with anger. She pointed at him with a sharp finger. If you refuse me, then you are not a real husband. You are weak and you do not love me. If you truly care for me, you will do as I say. Go to the river and ask. Peter wept bitterly. He knew this was wrong, but he could not fight his wife's stubborn heart. At last, with heavy steps, he walked again to the river. The sky was cloudy, and the wind blew stronger than before. Peter knelt by the riverbank and whispered, "O spirit of the river, forgive me again. My wife has asked for something greater. She wishes to become queen over the land. Please grant her wish if it pleases you." The water roared like thunder. A great wave rose high and splashed against the bank. The spirit's voice thundered with anger. "Peter, foolish man, I warned you. Your wife's greed is without end. She asks for the throne, but her heart is not worthy. Because of her pride, all that I have given will be taken away. Return home and see the price of greed." Peter trembled with fear. He begged, "Please, Great Spirit, do not punish us." But the water grew calm, and the voice was silent. The spirit had spoken, and nothing could change it. Peter ran back to his house. What he saw made him fall to his knees. The fine brick house was gone, replaced once again by their small old hut. The servants had vanished. The cattle, goats, and chickens had disappeared. The fine clothes and gold jewelry were no more. Even the basket of food and silver coins was gone. Joy was standing in the middle of the empty yard, looking around in shock. "Peter, where is my house? Where are my servants? Where are my riches?" she screamed. Peter held his head in his hands and cried, "Joy, it is all gone. The spirit has taken back everything. This is the price of your greed." Joy fell to the ground, beating her hands against the earth. "No, this cannot be. I was supposed to be queen. I was supposed to have it all." But no matter how much she cried, nothing returned. They were left with only their old hut and Peter's little farm. From that day, Joy's laughter was gone. Her heart was filled with bitterness. She walked through the village with her head down, for the same people she once mocked now laughed at her. Peter, however, returned to his farm. He tilled the soil once again and worked with his hands. Though he had lost everything, he still had his peace. He had learned that contentment was better than riches. And so the story of Joy and Peter became a lesson to the whole village. Parents told their children, "Do not be like Joy, the greedy wife. Be thankful for what you have, or you may lose even the little you own."